There's a quiet kind of miracle happening in some of the driest landscapes on Earth, and once you see how simple it is, you'll never look at plant propagation the same way again. This is desert rooting sorcery that transforms a living branch into a fully formed tree using almost no water. It's fast, it's reliable, and it's so effective that once you try it, you'll wonder why gardeners everywhere aren't already doing it. Welcome back to Timeless Crops Haven, where today we're diving into the powerful and nearly forgotten technique known as the Saharawi Method. Before anything else, let's get straight to the value. This isn't theory. It's a working system perfected in places where humidity barely exists. A technique that uses one light watering and a natural booster mixture to spark explosive root growth inside a cup wrapped around a branch. It creates a genetically identical fruiting tree that produces faster and with guaranteed quality. And yes, it works in harsh heat, in dry climates, for busy gardeners, and for anyone who wants strong, productive fruit trees without waiting years. At its heart, the Saharawi method is simply air layering taken to desert standards. It uses strategic cuts that partially interrupt the flow of sap in a branch. That interruption causes natural hormones within the plant to pool right at the wound. When you surround that spot with a moisture-locking mixture, the plant's response is to push out new roots with surprising strength. This isn't random rooting. This is targeted, controlled duplication. The new plant becomes a perfect clone of the parent tree. Same fruit, same vigor, same production quality. And because it isn't grown from seed, it doesn't gamble with genetics. You already know exactly what you will harvest. What makes the Saharawi approach different from regular air layering is its efficiency in arid conditions. The technique is deliberately crafted to hold moisture for weeks without any additional watering. And that's where the unique planting mixture comes in. The Sahara-inspired mix relies on 3 ingredients: soil or peat or sand, a small piece of aloe leaf, and the smallest amount of water needed to moisten the blend. The aloe is the hero here. Its thick gel stores moisture, wards off bacteria, and contains natural rooting hormones. You only need enough water to turn your chosen substrate into a soft, slightly damp mixture, never runny. For a small disposable cup, 1 tablespoon of water is generally enough to activate the aloe and get the correct texture. Chop a small section of aloe leaf into tiny pieces. Mix it thoroughly with your soil or sand. You're aiming for a smooth, moist consistency that stays cool to the touch. This mixture becomes the environment where the new roots will develop, cushioned, protected, and naturally stimulated. Choosing the right branch is key. You want a branch that's healthy, flexible, and not too old or woody. Once selected, make 2 deep cuts, one on one side of the branch, the other directly opposite. Remove bark and cambium until the inner wood is exposed. These twin cuts work together to slow the upward flow of sap, concentrating energy exactly where the roots will form. This dual wound approach is central to the Saharawi method. It keeps the branch alive, but it shifts its internal chemistry into rooting mode. It's a fine balance between injury and stimulation, and when done correctly, it leads to explosive results. Now comes the defining step. Prepare a disposable cup by cutting it vertically halfway down. This simple modification allows you to open the cup and place it around the wounded section of the branch. Position the opening of the cup so it aligns with the cuts, then secure it tightly using tape, string, or rope. You want it snug and unmoving. Once secured, start filling the cup with your aloe mixture. Pack it gently so the wounds are completely surrounded. When the cup is full, give it a single light watering, just enough to dampen the content evenly. Any excess will drain from the cup's vertical cut, which is exactly what you want. This is the magic moment. That's the only watering you are going to give. To lock in the humidity, cover the entire cup with a cloth or wrap it with black plastic. The wrap shields it from the sun, slows evaporation, and creates a stable microclimate where roots can develop in peace. While this method works almost any time during the growing season, gardeners in dry regions discovered an even more effective timing trick. They preferred to perform the method during the waning moon, when sap naturally moves downward in the tree. This reduces pressure in the branch, minimizes bleeding from the wounds, and makes rooting smoother. Season-wise, early spring is ideal because the plant wakes with fresh energy. Late summer is another excellent window because heat is dropping just enough to prevent the mixture from drying too quickly. Both seasons strike the perfect balance between plant vigor and low environmental stress. Inside that cup, something remarkable begins. Over the next weeks, the branch gradually pushes out white, healthy roots that wrap around the exposed wood. What's special about this method is that those roots are usually dense, strong, and extremely viable because the environment hasn't been disturbed or watered repeatedly. The aloe keeps everything stable. Once the cup is full of roots, simply cut the branch below the rooting zone. You now have a complete living tree ready for planting. When you move your new rooted tree into soil, your goal is gentle onboarding. Keep the soil slightly moist for the first few weeks. Not soaked, not dry, just lightly humid so those new roots settle smoothly. After that, the tree usually grows vigorously as it already has a head start compared to a seedling. The Saharawi method isn't just a clever trick. It's a solution for growers in dry climates, for gardeners who can't water often, and for anyone who wants to preserve rare varieties. It works in heat. It works with little maintenance, and it gives predictable results every time. Even better, it's a method that creates food security. When you clone a tree this way, you're guaranteeing fruit quality and production. You're reducing the guesswork, the waiting years, and the disappointment that comes from seed-grown variability. This is timeless propagation wisdom that deserves a place in every gardener's toolkit. If you found this guide from Timeless Crops Haven helpful, make sure to subscribe, share this with another grower, and help us spread gardening knowledge that never gets old.